Aha. Aha. Back in the room. Hi again. Is the video full size this time? Yeah, excellent. I'm just trying to organize my there we go. Organize my screen so that it's that works. Now I got my cup of tea. Hi Russell. Hi Aaron. Good evening. I'm not sure what's happened with the video. It looks like it's stopped. So I'm not 100% sure what's happening there. Is that all right? Okay. Hi Russell. So you're not looking forward to it? What is it? What is it that troubles you? So you're not looking forward to it? I've never been in a situation where I felt stressed or angry whilst teaching a learner. I've had situations that could have been perhaps a little stressful, but a professional driving instructor should manage that and learn to spot the signs. I think it's all part of developing as a good instructor. Because if you lose the plot and start shouting and bawling, then you're not helping anybody, least of all yourself. Okay, Russell, with the part 2 test, he isn't going to do anything, he isn't going to ask you to do anything that you can't do, and that you've probably done right loads and loads of times. Whereabouts are you sitting at? Okay. Is this your first attempt? And if so, is there anything in particular that troubles you? Well, careful, Aaron. Don't be putting your address live on the internet. Can I be your driving instructor? It's the problem I have is there's not enough of me to go around. I'm incredibly busy doing the stuff that I do, so there isn't a lot of space in my diary, I'm afraid. Much as though I would love to help everybody. I can perhaps put you in touch with an instructor who will be user-friendly. We may have somebody in your area. Whereabouts is it that you, the general area that you live? So accurate with the reversing. Okay. Did you see the latest video I put up on the LDC channel? Where I'm helping a lady there with reversing right, left, and with bare parking. We tend to confuse ourselves with reference points. And when you're using reference points, you're probably using somebody else's reference point, the one that somebody gave you. But what you need to do is to work out your own reference point, or better still. So you're catching the wheels on the curb. Do you catch the wheels on the curb when you're driving out of the junction? Yeah, there's tons of fireworks going off outside. Absolutely tons. The estate over the road from me has lots and lots of young families, so they're all setting fireworks off for their kids, I think. So it's still fairly early. So I'm hoping that by the time 7:30 comes along, then I'll be able to settle down with a quiet glass of wine and it'll be quiet. I'm not holding my breath. Let me see if I can find the link to that video, Russell, that'll hopefully help you. Let's have a look. Just talk amongst yourselves while I find it. Where are we? There it is. But she was, the lady that I'm talking about was really locked up, almost seized with worry about reference points and such like, and it wasn't helping. Here is the link to the video. Have a look at it. What I do is just help her to find her own way of doing it. We worry so much about reversing back into the junction, yet we don't worry about driving out of the junction. And it's exactly the same. It's just you're going backwards. We mess our heads up with it. We get to the point where we can't see the curb, and that seems to mess with us. But do you need to see the curb? Even though you can't see it, you still kind of know where it is. So it's really just a case of guessing, judging it, I suppose. I don't know if that makes sense or not. With a bit of luck, it does. Hi, Alex. Your L test or your instructor test? I think one of the important things to remember with any test that you're going to sit, a driving test, whether it's your instructor's test or an L test, at the point where you get in the car, the sheet is clean. And as long as you stay safe, you won't get any marks on the form. It's the test is not necessarily what people think it is. I'm not sure what that message means, Aaron. Sorry, maybe I'm being a bit thick. But yes, as we get in the car on test, the sheet is clean. And people often say that the examiner failed me. It doesn't really. The sheet is clean as you get in the car. The only way you fail is if you do something that results in a mark on the sheet. If we always think to ourselves, what's the safest thing to do here? That's always going to be the right thing to do. in terms of tests. The DVSA's big thing is safety. That's why the Register of Instructors was created in the first place. That's why the L test was brought in. Finding ways to control your nerves. It's about not overthinking things, really, isn't it? Perhaps doing some breathing exercises, whatever it happens to be, really. Everybody's going to be nervous. I get the same amount of nervous as everybody else does. Hi, Taid. No, I'm up here in West Yorkshire, I'm afraid. I'm not afraid, I like it up here. I work as instructor support and development manager for learner driving centres, which is one of the biggest schools in the UK. Well, the fireworks seem to have stopped outside. How nice. But in terms of tests, we can, if you like, distract ourselves a little bit by, with the breathing exercises or reciting a little poem in our head, or there's a million and one different ways you can do it. It's all about all the doubt and the angst and the nervousness all exists in the conscious mind, and we can distract the conscious mind fairly easily just by giving it something to do, because it can't think of too many things at the same time. So it's reciting a poem or thinking about how much air is going in and out of our lungs. Allows our subconscious, the supercomputer part of the brain, to just take control of everything and just do it the way it needs to be done. I've just caught you coming there. Not a case of picturing your examiner naked like in an interview. It's well, if that works for you, that's great. But what if that's not a very pleasant thought? That might not help you at all, really. But despite popular belief, examiners are not there to fail you. They don't like failing people. I know people don't believe that, but they don't. Hi, Matt. Advice for people that really struggles with nerves. It's a case, really, of helping them find a level of control that they'll never get rid of the nerves, or they'll never get rid of those previous bad experiences as a passenger, but we can learn to manage them. And I would say that one of the best approaches would be, okay, how do you think we can get past this? They'll quite often say, well, it's not your job. Well, yeah, but they know what resides inside their head. They know what the real fear is, the real struggle, and it's generally to do with how we think and how we feel. How we think and how we feel controls our behavior, because it controls our emotions. So if we can find out about how we're feeling about something or what we think about something, we can quite often have a conversation that can lead to thinking or feeling about it a different way. Sounds very easy. Clearly it's not, but that's what it's about, really. If we make it all about the learner or the person that we're trying to help, we're bound to be more effective at helping them, I think. At least that's how it works in my head. So you're up in Newcastle. We have a couple of good guys up in Newcastle. A shout out. Well, the DVSA say that the average individual takes 47 hours. That's absolutely right. With an extra 15 hours of practice with mum and dad, so you're looking at 62 hours. But I think if we use the right techniques, we can get that number down. The average lesson involves an instructor trying to put the learning into the learner, by giving them instructions, advice, telling them how to do things. Where if we try and take the line, and that's the sort of stuff I've done on the YouTube channel that you've seen with the pupils I'm teaching there, I take the line, I want to try and get the learning out, because the reality is, as you start driving lessons, you have everything you need anyway. within you. Excellent, Ash. 32 hours. Pretty good. Pretty good. Thank you, Aaron. I like you too. And I think if we're always working to try and be efficient, not necessarily just doing fewer hours for the sake of it, but trying to be more effective in the hours that we do deliver. It's then a case of the word will get out that you're not ripping people off, and that it's working well for you and for your learners. And in that way, you can charge a premium for your lessons because people will pay it because it's the most important thing I think is that it's a pleasant experience. So many people, I get so many emails and messages from people. You just look at the YouTube channel, look at LDC's YouTube channel, you'll see on there the comments that people are making. That there's a lot of shouting and screaming goes on. Aaron, how many cars there are? I think there's I think it's 38 million registered drivers. It's something like that. A yellow and a white box junction. Okay, the rules are the same. The difference is in what has to happen for that to be painted on the road. It's a yellow one. There's an ordinance that takes a little bit of time to get through. The white ones are where the council hasn't gone for an ordinance. They don't need one to paint a white box junction, but the rules are exactly the same. Have I taught any of my family to drive? Yes, all 3 of my children. Hi Jack. Learner videos. Yes, Nikki will be coming back towards the end of this month. So we're going to finish that particular journey off. Looking forward to that. I want to try and get it done this time because Nikki's a super driver. It's just the test that messes with her head. So we're going to see if we can get around that. She needs it even more now because she's a small baby now. It's not easy getting on and off the bus with a baby. And we're looking at a couple of learner drivers. We've got a couple in our sites that are quite interesting and that are live wires and should make for not just informative stuff on the video, but they're lively characters, so there might be a bit of banter back and forward, and that always helps too, I think. Interesting question, Russell. I think they're conscious of it to begin with, but they very quickly forget that they're there. So I don't think so, but the reality is you would have to ask them. Do I think Nikki's a better driver than I am now? I think she's an extremely good driver, but I pride myself that I do a lot of work on my driving, and I drive to the best of my ability at all times. And I don't want to come across as being conceited, but I'm pretty slick. Hi Barry again. All part 1 binary stages before binary 2. You're not a nuisance at all, Barry. Have a word with Ash in training. There are many ways to go through part 1. The traditional one is where you trundle through all of the stuff in order, but there's many ways to do it. We have experimented with some people just saying, right, look, let's just do tons and tons of mock tests for part 1 and go and sit it. That's what I did with both Kev and Andy. They didn't spend any more than about a week on part 1 and just went and sat it, and they both passed. Hi Ash, can you become an audit trainer? Yes, you can. It's a fairly involved process. Generally, if you want to work as an audit trainer on your own, you need to become an audit centre first, or you need to attach yourself to an audit centre. Now, we only do training for audit within LDC for people who are going to train for us. They're normally our franchisees first, but you can become an audit trainer. Yeah, it's It's all about, thinking back to your test, when you had to apply your core competencies, where you have to spot the fault that's being made, you have to analyse the fault that's being made, and then put some corrective action in. What you have to do as an audit trainer is to take the level above that. So you've got the learner driver making the mistakes. The ADI that you're training has to spot those mistakes, analyse the mistakes, and then put some remedial action in place. As an audit trainer, you have to be the level above, and then you have to watch what they're doing. If they're making mistakes, you have to spot those mistakes. You have to give them the chance to analyse it, and then you have to put some corrective action in place. Now, the really good trainers use that in a client-centered way, and it's quite complicated, but it's great fun and very challenging. So yes, you can. If you want, I'm sure I could help you with that. Whereabouts are you based, Ash? Manchester, you said that. Sorry, you told me that earlier. Maybe we can get together at some point over a cup of coffee and talk about what the options are. Hi, Noddy. My back's not doing too bad at all. Thank you ever so much for asking. How kind that you remembered. It still gives me the odd issue, so I have to have a cushion behind my back just to keep my lumbar spine arched. So it's 11 months since that accident, and I'm still struggling a little bit, but much better. I haven't missed any work for a little while. And there will be some more learner videos, as well as some people going through their journey to become a driving instructor. So I'm looking forward to that. Quite excited about those new projects. And it's great to share the journey with the audience on YouTube. Obviously, I'm posting on YouTube tonight as myself, but we're probably going to do some of these live broadcasts from the LDC channel. Not really 100% sure. But we'll see. But back to your point, Barry, if you ring the training department on Monday, they'll give you a rundown of what the options are for part one. And I think it's a case of looking at all your options and finding one that suits, really. You need to get it right, not get it quickly, but it depends on your need to become a driving instructor. If you're in a hurry to do it, you maybe got to look at doing things a little differently on the journey towards it. But it's a case of looking at all your options and then seeing where you want to go. So, hi, Aaron. So you're in college. What are you studying? Anything exciting? Hi, Russell. Interesting question. The Part 3 exam is all about those core competencies, about you spotting the fault, either you analysing the fault or you getting the learner, the examiner in role, to analyse the fault, and then you putting in some corrective action. In the real world, once you've spotted the fault, then the learner driver will probably do most of the work and put it right themselves. So you've then got the problem that you get used to learner drivers fixing the faults on their own, and it's not necessarily the best preparation for Part 3, but it can be, as long as you're aware of it and you're doing your practice with your real live learners, still with a mind towards the Part 3 test. I hope that makes sense. So it can get in the way, but it can also really help you as well. So it's working out which is best for you, really. For our guys that are going on training license, we always like them to have had an attempt at the test. A couple of reasons. We get a lot of people through first time, so they might not need the training license, so it's £140 saved. And also, if you're going to sit through, if you're going on the training license, it lasts for 6 months. Because of the waiting time for tests at the moment, you cannot get 3 attempts in 6 months, but you can get 2 attempts in. So another reason for going for the 1 attempt first. So me personally, I quite like the training license. That's how I did it when I qualified back in 1988. How old am I? Yeah, you're quite right, Ash. The driving test is the minimum standard. and it is a very basic standard. They're basically assessing that is somebody safe to be let loose on their own, and if the answer to that is yes, then they'll let them do it. But we should really be developing after the test. But what happens is, you always hear the phrase, don't you? You pass your test and then you learn to drive. And that's because we take the learners to a certain level, they pass the test, and then they're left to find their own way of doing things, really. Where a much more powerful way of helping people learn is to help them to teach themselves. I know it seems like a crazy thing to say, but to help them decide the right course of action for each situation by saying to them, look ahead, what can you see? Okay, you can see that. What do you plan on doing about it? What's your options? And in that way, we teach them to be good decision makers. And they learn how to learn, if you like. And that carries on for the rest of their life. So we can remove this idea of passing the test and then learning to drive. We can learn to drive and then just get more and more experience. But we're always learning. Hi, Josh. I think you'll find that most pupils, Russell, to answer your question, don't know about the PDI badge. They don't know that there's a difference. And anybody who's got an issue with it is probably going to avoid you anyway. They make a big play of, we don't use trainees. And we don't mind using them because trainees are keen, they're fresh, they're new, they're equipped with the latest teaching techniques, and they're working hard to make sure they get to where they need to be. So I think they do every bit as good a job, sometimes even better than other ADIs because of the enthusiasm and because they've got those latest techniques, I think. Teaching and learning. That's interesting, Aaron. Do you see those as the same thing? I know that our industry sees it as the same thing. I think it'll depend on how progressive your tutors are as to what their viewpoints are on that. In my mind, the way that I think it works, and this underpins my teaching style, if you like, both the learner and the trainer or teacher can do the teaching, but only the learner can do the learning. I hear what you're saying, Ash, with the inactivity after passing the test, but if they're taught how to learn, then the learning never stops. Every day that they're out becomes a learning opportunity. But if we just tell them what to do, they soon forget what we told them. If we help them discover the right thing to do, that stays with them forever. Because we always remember what we believe in, or what we've discovered for ourselves, or for ourselves. But I think it's time for me to go for something to eat. It's been lovely chatting with you all. So Russell, have I come across ADIs that have suffered from a lack of pupils due to their lesser pass score on part 3? No, definitely not. I've come across ADIs who have suffered from a lack of pupils due to their poor attitude and approach and their lack of people skills. Clients going on the motorway without Pass Plus? Well, yeah, it's there is talk of allowing people to go on the motorway with a driving instructor. I think if we taught them the right things, because we do dual carriageways, if we've taught them the right stuff, then we should be okay. Hi Matt, best advice for a really shy pupil? I'm not. Could you just clarify that for me a little bit before I shoot off and have some food? Cheers, Nadia. I do deserve some grub, but I clearly don't need any. So really shy in terms of what they don't like meeting new people, or do you mean in terms of sitting the test? I think in terms of the test, we can get them used to the test by perhaps finding another ADI in your area, and you both meet up at the test centre with your pupil, and then the ADI swap cars. And what you're getting is a real test then. A complete stranger with a clipboard gets in the car. So that might help you if you've got a pupil who's shy about meeting new people in terms of meeting the examiner. If they're really shy in terms of meeting you, perhaps do a home visit before you start. Pop round to their house and visit them while their parents are there, or while they've got a friend there, or their partner, so that it's a bit of an icebreaker and it's a gentle introduction, really. Now, I know it's time out of your diary to do that, but if you're doing that kind of stuff, what I can promise you is the word will get out that what a great instructor you are. Oh, well, my instructor came around to my house and showed me, how it was all going to work, and taught me, and we got a gentle introduction, and I was able to bring a friend along for the first little bit because I was a bit scared about being on my own with people. So it's there's many ways of doing stuff. I see what you're saying. So they don't want to speak too much. Yeah, that's a tricky one. I normally just say, okay, what do you want to do today? And the really shy ones will go, well, I'm not really sure. I don't know. You decide. The only way you can work with these people is to just gently start bringing them out of themselves, just by saying, well, what do you want to do today? They say, well, I don't know. Well, look, here's some options. So when you ask them, what do you want to do? Or, and they're drawing back into their shell, you just say, okay, well, look, here's some things we could do. We could have a go at turning the road. We could start work on some busier junctions. We could do roundabouts, or we could perhaps even move on to doing traffic lights. Choose one of those. Now they've got to make a choice now. So what you're doing is gradually, by doing it that way, they're getting used to talking to you more and more. Those barriers, those shyness barriers, if you like, get broken down. And your relationship with that, your professional relationship with them develops. They start to trust you. And feel a little less shy, I think. The next live Q&A, I don't know. Probably tomorrow because I'm a geek. Or maybe even later on tonight because my other half will be watching Strictly. And I'm normally a fan, but this, I don't know. I can't be bothered this year. So I might be back on later this evening. Who knows? But I'll probably come in around. I'm going to also try Facebook Live. I tried it a little earlier today. I messed around with it for ages and couldn't get it to work. So, but I think I've got it worked out in my head what I need to do. So I'm going to sign off from here for now. Hopefully I'm going to sign off straight away this time. It took me about 20 minutes to sign off last time. And I'll maybe see you guys later. But if not, definitely tomorrow. Thank you all. Okay, it's still running. I'll work out how to turn this off in a moment. Oh dear. Where are we? Close the window down and open it back up again. It's still here. So it seems you can't get rid of me. This is really strange. It doesn't give you... I can't find the close chat button anywhere. Let's see if I can close it from the other end. I hate technology.